Okay, Stephen Key, I'm back. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can be a profitable inventor, but you have to keep things a little confidential. I know you're worried that when you come up with an idea and you start to share that idea with people or maybe even companies that are looking for ideas, there's a chance they just might take your idea. I know you're fearful. So during this video, I'm going to talk a lot about keeping things confidential so you can be a profitable inventor. All right, step number one. I know you're really excited about your product idea and you want to share it with the world. Stop. And the first thing I want you to do, don't post your confidential information on social media. Just don't do it. I see a lot of inventors out there that they think that if I post it on LinkedIn, put a bunch of hashtags of those companies I kind of want them to see, that they're going to discover me. That's not the way to do it. You have too much exposure and maybe the wrong people are looking at your idea. So stop doing that. I also see a lot of inventors posting on Instagram or their Facebook. They're sharing it with friends. Hey, what do you think about my idea? I know you want some input and I know you're excited and you want to share it with everybody. But please don't do that because a couple things could happen. The wrong company or the wrong person could see it, number one, and they could copy your idea. And before you know it, you're going to see it on Amazon. Number two, there's a very good chance you're going to lose maybe some intellectual property if you post a little early. There's things that you need to do to protect your idea so you don't lose any of your intellectual property rights by publicly disclosing your ideas. So number one, stop posting your inventions when they haven't been manufactured, they haven't been licensed yet, and they're not on the market to social media. Okay, number two, you have to keep things a little confidential. All right, so you're going to a trade show, fantastic. But if you want to license your product idea, and maybe you just have a prototype or maybe just a sell sheet, but you're not in production selling anything, should you go to a trade show in that particular industry? Absolutely, you should go and meet all those potential licensees. But you don't need to buy a booth and sit there and wait for someone to come by to discover you. Too much exposure, not a good thing. But by walking the show, meeting potential licensees and showing them your product, that's not a bad thing. But here's the catch. Don't show them your sell sheet or leave it with them and walk away. That's not a great idea because sometimes they don't remember where the sell sheet came from. They don't remember who came up with the idea. So what I want you to do is keep things a little bit more confidential. So if you do go to a trade show, and you're walking the floor and you meet the right people, grab their card. There you go. Follow up. Make an appointment. Do it officially that you're going to present an idea to them so they can document it, you can track it, and there's a paper trail. It's very, very important. So keep things confidential. Okay, number three. Now we're talking about how to be a profitable inventor by keeping things a little confidential. And I want to talk about reaching out to those companies that have embraced open innovation, that want to work with inventors like us. They want to see our ideas. Do they really, truly want to see our ideas? All right, let's talk about those inventor-friendly companies that want to work with us. Okay, first of all, if you run across a country that you think you really want to work with, and maybe they're one of the big players. In fact, everybody chases the real big companies, but the real big companies, I don't know, they're difficult to work with at best. And some of the real big companies want you to have a patent, and they'll say, we only look at inventions, product ideas that are patented. Those companies, in my opinion, are a dinosaur. Run from them, find somebody else. Because if you waited for a patent to issue, you'll probably miss the market. It's really quite simple. If you're reaching out to a company and that you want to submit an idea to, and they have a third party that kind of reviews the product submissions, they have a barrier in front of you, that's not a good idea. The companies that are really serious about this take that process internally and have a department where it's not just one person. They'll have someone from sales, marketing, engineering, legal, to have a whole team together to really look at product submissions appropriately, the right way. And they've invested time, energy, and money, and they're serious about it. That's why they have their own department. So this third-party person reviewing it, that to me is not a great idea. It's a red flag. Okay, what else? If you're reaching out to a company that you think is a great fit and they don't really have a department, or they've never licensed an idea before from an inventor, there's a very good chance it's going to take a lot of time, energy, and you're going to be frustrated. And you don't know how they're going to treat you, and you don't really want to be the first guinea pig. So just be aware of it. To me, that's kind of a red flag. There could be some issues. And before you start, make sure you have the right protection in place and you have signed a correct NDA, especially with those companies that do not work with inventors. Also, if you find a company you want to work with and their product submission form basically says anything you come up with, we own, that's not inventor friendly. That's something I wouldn't share my confidential information with one of those companies. All right, that's pretty simple to understand, I think. Also, if a company requires some payment for you to review a product, if they want X amount of money to review your product submission, I don't think that's a good idea either. That's probably not an inventor-friendly company, and I wouldn't share my confidential information with. So watch out, be careful of who you're going to be reaching out to. Make sure they have embraced open innovation. They've got a team there that are looking at ideas. They treat you kindly. They don't have some terrible submission form and make you jump through a bunch of hoops. Do your homework. It will save you time, energy, and money. Okay, number 4, we're talking about on this video, not to share your confidential information. It's very, very important. Here are some of the steps that I recommend. I'm not a patent attorney. I'm not giving you legal advice, but this is what I do. When I have an idea, I have an invention that I'm really excited about, I file a provisional patent application. I take my time. I make sure I do a good job, make sure I understand maybe prior art, prior patents, go on the internet, but make sure I know my point of difference. I also do a little bit more work in finding out designing workarounds, variations. You've heard me talk a little bit about this, and also maybe some manufacturing techniques for my invention. I put them in a provisional patent application because now it truly has value. That to me is one of the best ways to protect your intellectual property. Okay, wonderful. So you do that. So you start to reach out to companies and do this with the sell sheet. We talked about that too, but they're going to ask for more information, and that's really a good thing. But the minute they start to ask, how is your invention made? And tell us a little bit more about this, they're probably asking for confidential information. All right. So that's a good thing, but you have to be a little careful. That's the time you ask them. It's probably a good time to sign a mutual NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. And that's a great time. And usually they will. They won't do that at the very beginning because they don't know what you have yet. So why would they sign one? But once they see it and you haven't disclosed confidential information and they ask for it, that's a good time to ask to sign a mutual NDA. You're probably going to sign theirs. Read it very carefully, make sure it's fair and balanced. And if you don't understand some of the verbiage, ask a patent attorney to evaluate, to make sure it's not stating anything you send to us, we own. Okay, just make sure it's fair and balanced. That's a great way of not publicly disclosing your invention to these companies by having them sign an NDA. And make sure it has at least 3 to 5 years that they won't disclose it. This will protect you in case you might want to go beyond the United States, or maybe that will protect you if you look at other applications. Now, realize when you file that provisional patent application, you have some time, because you might want to file, when you file a non-provisional, filing for a patent, you could designate maybe other countries. But still, to be on the safe side, you don't want someone publicly disclosing your invention too early. So that's why those NDAs can be extremely important in those situations. So check it out. Be careful. Do your homework, right? Get someone interested in your invention. with a great sales sheet. But once they start to ask for confidential information, please look into signing an NDA that's fair and balanced for both parties, that has a length of time that they don't disclose it, is a great way to protect your intellectual property. So in conclusion, number 5, we're talking about how you can become a profitable inventor by keeping your great stuff a little bit quiet. How to keep it confidential, not sharing it with everybody on social media, not sharing it with companies you don't quite trust, not sharing it with even vendors or manufacturers to get some price quotes. What you want to do is make sure you file the correct intellectual property, have people sign NDAs, whoever you're working with. We mentioned that a little bit earlier, but also kick the tires on everybody and anybody you're working with, and make sure whoever you decide to disclose it to, they've got a great history. They haven't done anything funny, because today you cannot hide on the internet. So do a little bit of homework, right? Do the right things to protect yourself. Easy to do. Keep things a little bit to your chest. Keep them quiet, okay? And I know you're excited about it, and that's great. But there is a time and place to share it with the world, but not at the very beginning. Keep it confidential. Make sure you follow the correct intellectual property. Have people sign NDAs, and work with people that have a great reputation. Check them out on the internet. Always do your homework. Steve and Keith, thank you for watching this video.